Oh, Justin, Russell.
Oh,
Hey, Justin, how's it going? Are you back home or are you on your way home?
hold on, give me a second.
Brenda, good morning, Brenda.
All right. Sorry, I got a call right when I freaking came on.
Okay. Well, an important guy like you always his phone must be ringing all the time.
Sometimes it is. Um, no, I just got back from work and I had to order Kelsey's birth certificate because I kept forgetting to freaking do that the last couple of weeks.
Order a birth certificate?
Yeah. Hers got lost somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it got lost at, but we have everybody else's in our little file folder thing that we have. But for some reason, hers is missing and I can't fucking find it anywhere.
You can't walk into the county clerk's office and get a birth certificate?
Hers was in North Carolina, so
Oh, North Carolina. Okay.
I just ordered it online. It cost me like $30. I don't care. I'll just order it. And then I got to take her and Thomas. And what's crazy is the processing time through Vital Check, right?
Yeah.
115 to 130 business days.
Wow.
But they always say that, but I've ordered from them before and it didn't take more than 2, 3 weeks. They always say that though.
So you got to take Kelsey and Thomas where?
I'm gonna take them to get their state IDs for right now. And then I'm gonna work on them more with them too driving.
Okay. They're working on their driver's license. Is that what they want to do?
Yeah, but I need to get their state IDs. I want to get those first and foremost.
Well, I don't know what is entailed because it's been so long since I've had anything to do with anything like that. What does it entail to get a student driver's license?
Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not entirely sure because I don't haven't gone through that process yet with a child, so I want to be learning here pretty soon. Now.
Yeah. Brenda is in the chat. She says, "Good morning."
Morning, Brenda.
I ran all over town today, taking how do you explain what it is? Better to show you a picture. This tire in the back here went flat, and it's a tube tire. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I got it off the cart. But do you think anybody will work on that? So I ended up going downtown to a Firestone dealer that I happen to know, and they're going to do what they can do.
Why won't they work on it, dude? You could change one of those with just a couple big screwdrivers.
Well,
They're not that hard to do. I've changed those kind of tires before. Takes like 5 minutes. Take a couple
well,
big
the tire is
screwdrivers.
fine. It's the tube.
Well, I know, but I'm saying it's not hard to pop that tire off there and put a new tube in there.
Well, it's
I could
it.
do it in 5, 10 minutes.
Hey, Justin's here.
Don't try to act like you didn't fuck that up.
Morning, Paul. Morning, Justin. Jason.
Uh,
Justin.
no, but like I said, that's like a 5 minute job if you know what you're doing. That's stupid that they won't do it.
Yeah, but I can't do it. I messed around with. I got the tire off,
No,
and
I'm saying any tire shop should be able to put that on for you real quick.
well,
It
I
doesn't
went
take
to
that long.
one tire shop because they opened at 8 o'clock, and I was right there. And I showed it to the guy. He said, "No, we don't have any tools that'll work on that small a tire."
You don't need tools. You can do it with a couple big flathead screwdrivers. Fucking morons, I swear.
What are you trying to do?
Just
What's
change a
the
little
task?
it's a little tiny tire off of a wheelchair that needs a new tube in it. A couple of big flathead screwdrivers, you pop the tire out, you pull the tube out, and then put it back on the rim. Takes 5-10 minutes.
Well,
Not that hard of a job. I used to do little
the,
tires like that all the time.
the tube.
Like a bicycle?
No, it's a
Think of like a wheelbarrow type tire, Jason. Like a wheelbarrow size type tire.
Can you see me,
So it's fat.
Jason?
Yeah, it's like a little fat tire. Those aren't hard to work on at all. I don't know why a shop can't do it.
There it is,
See?
Jason.
Even if you have a you either use a couple big flathead screwdrivers or you use a couple little pry bars. They should have both of those in a shop. Either one will work.
You can't do it yourself, Paul?
I got it off, but it's the wheel is a two-part wheel. It's got bolts going through it, and you got to get a wrench on one side, a wrench on the other side, and I don't have small enough wrenches to get at it.
But
Oh,
like
just send them an Amazon link.
but at my dad's shop when I was doing tires there growing up, it didn't matter if you brought a bicycle tire and a fucking wheelbarrow tire. If you had the stuff to change it, because obviously we didn't carry tires like that. But if you brought in a
Right.
tire and said I needed to change, we'd fucking do it.
Oh, take it to
Like-
the local bike shop. There you go.
Well, I took it to different shops, and nobody wanted to work on it. And then I Googled where I could find a place that could work on mobility carts, and it was all the way down in Detroit.
Well, no, take it. Don't you have it? I'm sure you got a local bicycle shop there.
Yeah, but they didn't want to touch it. I called both of them.
Them too? Oh, all right.
Yeah, I've worked on stuff like that. I used to do that all the time. My dad's shop. People would come in
Yep.
want little wheelbarrow tires changed, little tiny tires off of little trailers. It
Well, it
didn't
sounds like
matter.
you just need to buy some wrenches. Send them that link, Justin. Some small wrenches. For real. I mean, or go to Detroit like you said you got to do. You know, see,
Well,
I think those are your options.
I took it down to the Firestone dealer downtown Port Huron, and I've dealt with them a lot, and they're gonna figure out how to get it fixed. You know.
Oh, okay. I bet you if you take it to the fire
Wow.
station, they'll fix it. They'll try to fix it too.
The what?
So,
Fire department.
What?
Take it to the fire department.
man,
They
it's
put the
not
jaws of life
like
on that thing and open it up.
I said, it's not even that hard of a job, and why a shop won't do it is beyond me. That's stupid. 20
Oh, I
bucks,
agree
I'll
with you
change it
100%,
real quick.
Justin.
I
Yeah,
would have
right?
charged them $20, and I'll change it for you real quick. It took me
Well,
2
hey,
minutes.
Knowing Paul's story, I'd have charged him $100 and Paul would have done it.
It's like what I said to them down at Firestone. I said, I tried to get it apart, but I couldn't get into the bolts, and they said that that they would do that, and because you got to take the hubs apart to get to the tube. And
It's
I
still
said
not a hard
I
job.
was going to try and patch the tube wherever it was leaking, and they
Therefore,
just kind of okay, whatever.
If you buy the tools and the wrenches, now you can do it again because you got 4 wheels. Those are going to go out some pretty soon too.
Like I said, it's not even that hard of a job. They're just making it sound like it's worse than it is.
Oh, there you go. I got an idea. Paul, just mail it to Justin, and Justin will fix it for you for $20.
You know what the charge from Michigan to Florida would be for that wheel and tire?
$20.
No, I didn't say I was giving them free shipping, man.
What? What do you want? What do you want? It's raining out. You don't want to go outside. Right back. Boone thinks
Is it raining?
he's Mr. Man of the Hour.
I heard it was supposed to get up to the 70s today here in Virginia Beach, and then overnight it'll drop down to the 30s. Which I prefer the cold. funny as that sounds.
Oh, I do too. I can't wait till it gets cold in Florida. I can't stand the heat. I grew
So
up
when are
in
you
the
moving from
desert.
Florida?
You what?
When are you going to move out of Florida then?
Unfortunately, I'm never going to leave Florida. I don't want to leave the safety of Florida.
Oh,
I
for real?
like having, yeah, I like having what they call rights. So I told my mom I'm never moving back to California. Don't ever ask me that again.
There's other
That's a,
states other than Florida and California, though, I think.
I just like Florida. I don't think I'd ever move from here, to be honest.
It's just that heat. I can't stand that heat down there. I've been there before, and I'm like, ooh, it's too hot.
Yeah, that's something I just had to deal with, but it is what it is.
That's what, yeah,
And my mom
true.
has tried to talk me into moving back to California a bunch of times. I said, no, I'm not moving back there. I'm not moving to some commie state. I'm good.
Yeah, but if you move there as an illegal, you'll be good.
I don't know about right now. Oh,
No taxes,
Jay,
right? You don't have to pay taxes.
Jason, did you hear about that guy? That guy that got arrested outside of Chicago? He was a cop, and it turned out he was illegal.
No kidding.
Yep, and
Wow.
ICE had a detainer on him and went and picked him up while he was at work. And he was a fucking registered police officer.
Wow.
But he was here on an expired visa. But still, you're not supposed to be a licensed police officer if you're not a citizen.
What
So
state?
how?
Chicago, Illinois?
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, it was in Illinois. It was some police department that was right outside the. It was right
Well,
outside a suburb of Chicago. I can't remember
how
the
can you
name
be
of
a
it.
police officer if you can't enforce, if you can't follow the rules yourself? Follow the law yourself. So too bad for him.
Hi, Jason. Justin.
Paid that toll.
Hey!
That toll's paid. What's up?
Paul.
Morning,
Whatever Paul is. Yep, Paul's not
morning,
there.
Mark.
Uh-huh. Justin, have you put a pinned link at the top of the page? Because whatever it is, it don't work. It just says Digital Demon link, and that's it.
Oh no, I don't know why that's in there. I must have hit my keyboard or something.
Maybe you need to
The
post a
fuck?
link for some wrenches for Paul's tire.
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck that. Oh, I know what that is. It's because I told Paul to put the link in the chat earlier. That's what it was. Because he didn't have the link in the chat when he first started up the live stream.
Right. The link is in the chat, but I don't know why he's got that weird thing at the top.
All right.
I paid that toll like 2 months ago, so I'm good on that.
Hey, Paul, so what are you going to do with your wheel? You got 3 options. Or maybe 4 options, actually.
Jason, I took it to a tire shop. They're going to fix it.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah, he said he talked to some guy over at the Firestone tire shop. Said he'd help him out.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. Well, right on. There you go.
What's up? Has it got a puncture?
Yeah, it needs a new tube in it.
Yeah.
But all these tire shops are telling Paul, oh, we don't work on tire. We don't have the tools for tires like that. It's literally the size of a wheelbarrow tire. Like a couple little pry bars or a couple big screwdrivers. It ain't that fucking hard to get into.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. How much are they going to charge you?
I don't know.
I'd imagine they wouldn't charge him too much to do that.
Well, depends.
So here's another idea.
Depends on
Buy yourself a new replacement tire, so now you got a spare for whenever you have a flat.
Oh, you can mount it on the back like a Jeep.
Mount on the back, exactly. Exactly. And then put a sign on it. If I'm upside down, then flip me over. If you can read this, then flip me over.
What do you buy? What are you fixing it for? Do you actually use that thing or what?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
selling
I
it?
do. I use it periodically.
Make sure you keep that thing on a charger though, because the minute that battery goes dead, it's gonna fuck that battery up.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it is.
usually have it plugged in all the time.
Yeah, those electric carts you want to leave plugged in whenever you're not riding.
Oh, is it a
Put your
mobility?
drone batteries on those.
Yeah,
What's
it's a
your drone
mobility
battery?
scooter. Yeah, it's one of those four-wheeled mobility scooters.
Yeah, I've got one of them.
But those batteries, man, if you let them die, they're like drill like power tool batteries. If you
There
don't
it
keep
is,
them on the
Mark.
charger all the time, they get fucked easy.
No, the one I've got's got a lithium-ion battery in it.
Newer ones, maybe the newer ones do. I know, like Sarah's dad. I don't know how many batteries I replaced in his chair because he had two of them and he barely drove one of them. And they were always forgetting to plug the fucking thing in, and they'd let it sit there for months and months, and they'd fuck the battery, and I'd have to replace the battery.
And they're not cheap.
No.
Hey, you could probably just mount what do you call it, a regular car battery on it, on top of your spare wheels.
Try to get a little bit more juice.
Let's see how fast we can get this thing going.
Oh, dude, I'm sure somebody's built a mobility scooter that takes DeWalt batteries or some shit.
You...
Just reach around and slide you a new battery in every time.
Right?
There was that one dude that built that DeWalt. Was it a Milwaukee or a DeWalt drone? And you actually use the batteries from it.
Oh, that's
Power
awesome.
tools. I think it was a Milwaukee one. It might have been DeWalt. It was either DeWalt or Milwaukee, but yeah, it went a little bit viral about a year ago or so.
That's a cool idea.
All the
Them-
drone channels were talking about it. What'd you
It'd
say, Mark?
It'd have had to be a big drone, then batteries are heavy.
Yeah, let me
Heck
see
yeah.
if I can find the video and I'll put the link in the chat. I'm pretty sure it was Milwaukee drone. Maybe it was DeWalt. Let me see.
Oh my god, that's hot.
Oh yeah, it was two years ago. Yeah, it's been that long ago.
Is it dope?
I mean, it looks like something like DeWalt would like. It looks like a commercial drone, like something like that would be sold by a company. Like if you looked at it, you would think DeWalt made it, but I guess some guy just made it in his garage. I'll put it in Paul's chat, the link for it. There you go.
Dope. I'll take a look at it when I get upstairs.
Laura's counting down on Facebook. 6 days to go.
To what?
I heard their wedding.
Wait,
Her
what?
and David are getting married on the 28th.
Oh, I didn't. I thought they've been married. That's
No,
cool.
they've just
Right
been
on.
together for a long ass time.
They were
They're
supposed
just-
to get. They were supposed to get married, but COVID cancelled it.
Yeah, it was like back in 2020 they were supposed to get married. Yeah, like Mark said, and then a bunch of shit happened, and then they had to cancel everything when COVID hit.
Oh wow.
They never planned it again after that until recently. About 3-4 months back, they started planning it again.
Well, right on. That's awesome.
They've been together for like fucking like what 16 years or some shit.
Who's that?
Yeah.
David and Laura, they've been together since the early 2000s. So
Oh yeah. Well, he used
probably
to,
longer than that.
She used to be his caretaker.
She still is his caretaker.
What do you mean, his
That's not how-
caretaker?
I love
That's
that
not how-
caretaker.
Yeah, but that's not how they met, though. Laura's technically David's caretaker because he has seizures,
Carer,
so he can't.
not
He's on. From,
caretaker.
well, whatever.
Oh,
Caretaker's a janitor.
Well, I'm sure she wipes his ass once in a while. Like any wife, I'm sure she runs in the bathroom and starts screaming when she finds pee drops on the toilet seat.
right. All right, fellas, I'm gonna go inside. I'll try to if I'm not too busy, I'll jump back on again.
Okay.
Alright.
Hey,
Okay.
thanks for coming in, Jason.
Certainly.
Jason.
Exactly. All right, fellas. Talk to you later.
Okay. So, Mark, what's on your itinerary for the day?
Not a great deal.
Justin just got home from his bus riding,
Yeah.
and he's working on.
Well, tomorrow I won't be around because I got in service tomorrow, so
Oh, okay.
I won't be on tomorrow. So
But tomorrow night you might.
I might, depending on how tired I am, because that's a long fucking day when we got in service. Because you don't get any break. You got to go straight from the bus to the meeting, and then the meeting's like 3-4 hours, and then you go straight back on the bus again. So that makes for like a 14-hour day or something.
Okay.
It's a long
Well,
day.
we'll maybe we'll see you tomorrow night, maybe not. But
Yeah, I
you
might
take
go. I might
no
come home and
promises.
crash.
Yeah. Well, now what do you got to do to get yet today for getting up all the paperwork done? You got that done, ordered?
What? Oh, for Kelsey's thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already ordered. I just did it online through VitalCheck. VitalCheck's the one that does all the births. Like you can go straight to the county if you want, but it's more of a stupid process. It's not as convenient, but you pay a little bit more if you go through VitalCheck. But they're a little bit more convenient on the processing. So, but they're a partner with the government for doing like birth certificates and any type of vital records or anything like that.
According to Fox News, 9 illegal aliens and 4 protesters arrested in New York City ICE raid.
I'm surprised it's happening all over the place. But yeah, because if I order it from the county, I have to send an envelope with a return envelope that's already stamped, and I got to put a money order in there, and it's just big old. I'd rather not send all that through the mail. So and plus they're a little bit quicker at getting it processed too. So they say it can take up to 4 months, but usually they'll have it to you within like 3 to 5 weeks. So like I said I've used them before to order birth certificates and stuff. So they do marriage license, birth certificates, death certificates, and I think a few other things. They can do, I think they can do titles and stuff too.
That's a hell of a long time to take to get it. We can actually
Yeah.
just walk to our registrar's office and get one over the counter.
Well, I could if I was in North Carolina. It would take 5 minutes, but I'm not driving fucking 9 hours to get a
Ah,
birth certificate. Because each
Yeah.
state operates separately. I can't just walk into a Florida vital records office and say I need a birth certificate from North Carolina.
Yeah.
They only do Florida ones. And the only child I have that's was born in Florida is Aubrey. The other two were born in North Carolina, so both their birth certificates are there.
Right. I get you.
I wish you could, though. It'd make it a lot easier if you could just do that.
Yeah. I mean, we can do it online as well.
But
It
it's
doesn't-
also government, so they always drag their ass doing everything.
Only takes about a week if you do it online.
Well, here, the government, like I said, they drag their ass doing anything. So.
Mm.
But vital records, like if you're ordering a birth certificate for a child, you have to give like all the mother's information, all your information,
Mhm.
last 4 digits of social. You got to give, and then they ask you a bunch of questions like, did they give you like a list of addresses? Have you lived here? Pick the address that you recently lived at, and then it asks you like a shit ton of questions, and then they send that off to the government. The government has to verify the information's correct, and then that authorizes them to be able to order it for you.
Uh-huh. You have to give when do you get your social security number then?
When you're born. You'll get it. You usually will get your social security card. Like my kids got theirs in the mail like 2-3 weeks after they were born. They do all the paperwork right there in the hospital after the baby's born.
Yeah.
They have a
I'm,
person that comes around and does all the paperwork and fills out the birth certificate and all that stuff.
I'm not absolutely sure when we get ours issued to us. You never have to use it until you actually reach working age. So
The only ones I know that don't get birth certificates or
you
they
get birth
actually,
certificates, yeah, but the social security number, I don't think you get for ages. You
yeah,
start paying national insurance, which is basically when you start. Well, when you reach working age.
oh no, you get yours immediately after you're born. Like the lady will come in the next day in the like the room where the mother's recovering, like the recovery room.
Yeah.
And they go over all the information with you. They you have to like tell them what the baby's name is going to be and all that. And they take all the father and mother's information and you have to go over it like 2 or 3 times and verify everything's spelled correctly. And then they fill it out and then they shoot that off to the government. And the government issues the state will issue a like verified birth certificate, and then the federal government will immediately issue a social security number, and then you'll get the card in the mail about 2-3 weeks after that.
All right.
But the only ones I know that don't get social security numbers is Amish people. They don't ever fill out stuff to get social security numbers. So if you leave the Amish community, you have to go to the government and they have to issue what you want. They're the only ones I know that don't get them at birth because they don't. Their communities don't do any of that. They do birth certificates, but they don't do social security numbers. So if you leave the Amish community, you have to go to the Social Security Agency. And I don't know what the process is, but they can issue a social security number then.
All right. Different.
Because you have to have that to be able to work. So even if you're a teenager, they have to have that.
I'll have to look that up because I really don't know when you get it.
because like when I take the kids to get their state IDs, like Thomas and Kelsey, you can get it at 16. I'm going to take them to get their state IDs. They have to have their birth certificate and social security card with them. And then their parent has to have their license and all that stuff with them. or ID, whatever they have.
Mm.
And then the DMV will issue them a state ID. And then they can use that to, like, if they want to open a bank account or if they want to get a job or something while they're underage.
What? You have to get your ID, state ID from the driving people.
Yeah, they do IDs and driver's license. They do both of them.
All right.
And it's actually not bad to get a state ID and a driver's license, just so you technically have two forms of ID. Because there are some places that will ask you for two forms of ID, but they won't take like a social security card as a form of ID. So,
Yeah, because there's no picture on it.
right. And then some will take a birth certificate as a secondary verification. But it doesn't hurt to have both if you want them.
Mm.
But then their state IDs will be vertical, where ours is horizontal. And then once they hit 21, then theirs will go horizontal. That's how you can tell if somebody's underage.
Mm.
But they do it till 21 because of the smoking and drinking age. So
Yeah. Did all your digital IDs go out when the AWS servers went down?
when what went down?
Was it AWS servers?
Well, we don't do digital IDs in Florida. So it's all physical. I wish they would do. There's only like 2 states or 3 states, I think, that have gone with where you can legally use digital ID, where you can store it in your phone wallet
Mm.
with your like credit cards and shit, and you can use that as a form of ID. But Florida hasn't done that yet. I wish they would, though. It'd be nice because then I wouldn't have to carry my wallet with me anywhere. And I don't like carrying my wallet unless I really need it. So I don't want to lose it, you know?
Yeah, I never carry a wallet with me. I hardly ever carry cash with me.
Here
Yeah, I'd
comes
rather.
Dre.
Yeah, I'd rather just not have my wallet on me if I don't have to.
Mm.
Just have that at home, safe in a drawer, you know?
Yeah.
I believe what Mark is talking about is that there was an outage on several AWS servers, Amazon servers, that caused a lot of disruption. It affected my wife, one of her educational programs where they used Google Chromebooks, and they were not able to log in because that service was down.
Oh, yeah. I know about it, but I didn't know nothing about the digital ID thing. So
I got a question for you, Justin. I was just reading an article about a law in Florida that doesn't allow families to sue healthcare providers if the person is above 25 years old and doesn't have a wife or surviving children. Other members of the family can't sue for negligence.
I don't know nothing about that. I haven't
Yeah,
heard about
it's an
that.
article. Could a guy put up a billboard right across the Georgia border stating "Welcome to Florida, a free state of kill"? And they're saying that his son, who had suffered with blood clots during his lifetime, had an incident about a year ago when he was 33 years old, went to the hospital, and they kept giving him the runaround. And 3 days later, he passed away when they finally decided they were going to operate, but he was too far gone. And they're saying that the family couldn't sue because of that law.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that law.
Yeah, you better look it up, buddy. You know, we don't want Sarah to be, be in poverty because of you.
Why's it got to be me?
We don't like you.
Well, I didn't realize, Dre, that Justin was that far gone.
Well, he gets his little tummy aches once a month, like a woman gets a menstrual cycle. So you never know.
What do you think, Justin?
I don't know. I don't know nothing about that law. I have to look it up, but I haven't heard nothing about
Let
it.
me see if it's still on the front page here of my.
Is it named after Justin? The
No,
law?
no.
Oh,
So you're saying if they're over 25 and they're not married, and they
Yeah,
have no,
they have over 25 years old, not married, don't have no kids. The other family members, like parents or stuff like that, can't sue.
Is that the emancipation?
No, you can get emancipation as a juvenile.
I wonder why that
And
law
and, and
was
now they
put in
say that
place.
both sides of lawmakers say that law should be changed and yada yada this and that. I said, well, it's just like I was telling some other day, when this whole shutdown first started, how all these elected officials talking about, well, I won't take my paycheck. You ain't heard a peep out of nobody not taking a paycheck since they was barking about this 2 weeks ago.
The only thing I could think of is maybe that law was put in place to prevent like a fucking cousin from trying to sue just to get
Well, it's
money.
still a
I don't
family
know.
member. It could be a cousin, could be a
Maybe they
grandparent.
just need to reword it to immediate family, which would include your parents. I don't know.
I'm just saying that,
Or
if
if you were
if it's
adopted or
if
something
it's
like that.
malpractice, any family member should be able to sue. And that's basically what the case here was. Malpractice is that they were, dicking
Yeah,
around with this guy, and the dad was saying if this would have happened 5 years earlier, they would have opted for the surgery with no problem.
okay, but like the one situation, like just an example situation, say there was two cousins and they were the only two survivors of their family, but had
Mhm.
nothing to do with each other, hadn't talked in years. Do you think that cousin still has a right to just come out of nowhere and sue the
Well,
state
there's
over
always
it
going to be circumstances,
or the hospital?
but I'm talking about with the law itself. I'm not saying about the hospital.
I think it
Hospital is
should
going to
just
be
be immediate family, including parents.
yeah, okay.
Like
We'll see.
I don't think it should be some cousin that's like, or somebody that hasn't had to do with that person in years just come out and think they're going to get a payday. Because I could see people doing that just to try to get a payday and not really give a shit at the end of the day. But I could totally agree that like parents should be able to. They should be included in that. If they're not married or have kids, obviously, because there's nobody there to sue for.
Okay, I got it pulled up now. I will post this up here. Let me blow it up a little bit so you guys can read it. Here we go. This is just the article right here. The one I read had a picture of the billboard the guy put up, but that's the article right there.
Okay.
That's weird. Does that include when people die for their estate? So over here, if somebody dies and they've got no immediate family, then cousin.
Like I say, Mark, I don't have a lot of information. I just saw this morning about this, and it just basically pertains to this case right here.
Right.
So I don't know all the ins and outs. But they're saying that the hospital doesn't even have to give the family members any information about what happened.
And when was this? Does it say when this law was put in place?
That's been in place for a little while. Because basically it's protecting the hospitals from being, you get enough lawsuits, you go bankrupt.
Yeah, maybe it's and maybe it just has been something that hasn't had any limelight to it until this, particular situation. And now the lawmakers are having a chance to look at it. They might not even have known that was a thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well,
Because I mean,
here's
these states have so many laws that, you know, they're not gonna know every damn law that
Right.
there is on the books until it comes up in a
Yeah, there's the
situation.
billboard right there. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
I came up on my news feed. I'm like, what the heck is going on? That you can't even sue hospitals for malpractice.
Does that?
I'd like to know
wonder if
what
that-
caused. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
I
Uh-huh.
wonder if that works if you've actually got one of your parents registered as your next of kin.
Well, that's the funny thing, Mark. According to this story, the hospital does not have to give any answers about anything. They're
Yeah.
protected.
Well, and you got to remember too, at a 25-year-old probably wasn't even planning on dying that young. So
Yeah.
they probably didn't even think to do a next of kin. Most people
Mhm.
don't think about that shit till they get into their like 40s, 50s, you know?
Yeah. Good morning, Frank. Good morning, son.
As soon as you go in hospital, you have to name your next of kin here.
Yeah, well,
No
yeah,
matter
same
what.
here. They make you sign. Well, if it's not in your record, they always, especially if there's potential of surgery. Like when I had my surgery a few months back, I had to sign a release form and all this kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But yeah, it's,
But basically,
Yeah,
anytime you
but
go to anesthesia, they make you do all that paperwork.
the thing I would like to know is what caused them to put that on the books to begin with, because there obviously was, you know, every law, there's always some situation behind the reason
Yeah,
they
I'm
made the
pretty
law.
sure it probably was
Yeah.
most likely a big lawsuit that occurred, and and this, like I say, it protects hospitals more than anything else from, like I say, big payouts.
Yeah, I'd love to know the backstory why they even made that law to begin with. Because
Yeah.
that'd give it some context at least of why they did it.
Hmm.
And was it a good reason? And it just is one of those double-edged swords,
Well, I
you know?
most likely with many laws, all depends who was the,
Or could have
I
been
would
pushed
say
by the
the,
hospitals,
I'm trying to think
you
of the
know?
proper word, the lobbyists behind it,
Yeah, yeah,
who
that's what
was
I was gonna
funding
say
this
next.
law on behalf of hospitals, and said that we need to do this or all our hospital medical care could be in jeopardy in the state and yada, yada, yada from getting sued and all this kind of stuff. And they said, well, you probably had a bright idea. So yeah, that'll work great. We don't want to lose our hospitals.
Right, that's why I'm curious if it was a situation with a family that was real sketchy and they did it, or if it was like a
Hmm.
lobbyist thing.
It's probably a
Yeah,
lobbyist thing for the hospitals because that's who it protects.
Well, I suppose
Anytime somebody's getting protected by a law, they lobby to get that protection.
but
Yeah, I
we'll have
guess
to-
the difference between us and you then would be that nearly all of your hospitals are all private, aren't they? Whereas ours all
Right,
most of them come under the NHS.
right. Yeah, I don't know every state, but I say majority of states. I don't think anybody has a government ran hospital per se for medical care. Now, there used to be for psychiatric care, we had
Hmm.
state ran facilities, and that's
No, they
why.
get there's like facilities that get grants from they might get money from the state to do certain work, but they're private
Mhm.
still. The only really public I would say paid for by the taxpayers would be the VA.
Well, that's federally funded.
Yeah,
VA.
right. That'd be
Yeah.
the only real one that's kind of around
Right.
that I know of still like
Good
that.
morning, Rob.
But
You
Hey,
do have
Ron.
you have community hospitals, don't you?
In name, Mark, we have them in name. There's always going to be somewhere that such and such community hospital. It's just a name.
All right.
But
yeah,
like I said,
but
we have a community. Like where I live at is probably as close to, was it North Carolina, where they got all the universities that are all hospitals. They call it the healthcare triangle in North Carolina. You got all the
Mm.
big hospitals there. Where I live at, I got within 15 minutes of my house, I have 5 hospitals within 15 minutes. Community
And
hospital.
they're all run separately too, right, Dre?
Well, come to find out, Mark. Well, initially they were all separate, and then Dignity Health, which used to be Catholic Charities, bought St. Bernardine's. They bought Community Hospital, We have Loma Linda Hospital. Redlands has a hospital named Redlands Community. We have Kaiser main facility in Fontana, which was supposed to be for the steel workers originally back in the 40s, and it's blown up to what it is today. And then I think there's, like I said, that's about all the ones within 15 minutes of my house. So basically, I could stumble down the street and walk into an emergency room.
Yeah.
Where I live at. So,
Right.
someplace like with Ron, hospital might be a couple hours away for some people. And that's why Ron services are important to where he's at, because people may not have access to medical care. Even if it's just like I said, 911 call. Ron is 911,
Yeah.
in his area. For a lot of people, that is 911. For me, they debate about when you show up at a house, where you want to go, where are you authorized to go? That's the question they ask. What medical coverage you have? Also, we got the county regional, Arrowhead. Arrowhead is the county regional. So that's another hospital that's within 15 minutes of my house.
I got one hospital an hour away.
Yeah. So that's why I tell a lot of people when they talk about, facilities like Planned Parenthood, which is usually partnered with a private agency, they may be the only healthcare facility, especially for women care, for hours away. It's
Wow.
not always about abortions, but a lot of women get their pap smears there. They get the other mammograms there and other services through Planned Parenthood. So
Hey,
you cut the funding for those places. You're not just, trying to be on the right to life package, but you're also cutting off other vital services that can extend people's lives if they get diagnosed early.
Hey, Ron, did you see Sean got his elk?
Yeah, I was the other day. Yeah, it's a nice elk.
Yeah, he sent me a photo.
I
It was
went out
pretty cool.
yesterday and did. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I went out yesterday and didn't see crap. So, but I'll keep
What
trying.
happens, Ron, when you get a big reputation? The elks read the paper too.
Yeah.
They say Ron's out here. Let's go hide. Yeah.
I got to call my boss, the outfitter. He's not going to be happy. I'm supposed to hunt on Monday for 2 clients, and I just opened my email from work. It says, by the way, please call this late as you have been subpoenaed to go to court on Monday.
Mm.
I know what
Yeah.
it's for. I had a case, dirtbag stabbed his snot out of his girlfriend, and yeah, what am I going to say in court? Yeah, I went there. She had a bunch of stab wounds. We tried to fix her, took her to the hospital. I moved on to the next one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm subject to lose about $1,000, but because
Okay,
I
good.
can't get out of subpoena.
Right.
So,
So they're
Well,
not suing your company or the hospital, are they?
no.
Ron, you can't call the prosecuting attorney or the judge and tell him your situation?
I am seriously, I am going to call the prosecutor and say, hey, I'm losing $1,000 on another job, part-time job. Who knows how long the trial is going to be? Tell me what day you need me to come in and testify. And, I'm sure it's going to go on for a week or 2.
No, I'm thinking that your testimony is just basically upon what should come from the medical report.
Yeah.
You should
That
be.
should be the simple thing.
We should be able to do an
remedy
affidavit
that.
saying that the medical report, you reviewed it and it's correct.
Yeah.
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 And that could be anywhere you can call it. We can. They say we can phone that in. You don't need to be there for that. The medical report is the actual evidence because she was treated.
Yeah, ask him if he can do it by Zoom.
Well, we did.
Mhm.
But
Well, it's kind of hard for him to zoom when he's out in the field, but yes.
Yeah, he got a phone, as long as you get a cell signal.
Well, the thing of it is I think that he should be. You should be able to do just an affidavit attesting that and let him attach the report to it that this is full as you now, and I swear to God, you know.
Hmm. I think he probably
Man,
just
they
has you
different.
on the potential witness list. You may never get called.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
potential witness list, because I've been on those, for cases where you're a potential witness, you may even get subpoenaed, but you may never actually get called.
Yeah.
Because like I said, in your case, there is a medical report they actually can review, and it's probably already been put into evidence of the incident, and it explains the wounds.
Yeah.
Because it ain't like you witness her getting stabbed.
No, we
Yeah.
didn't. The only thing we did see is when we were going to the call, because it happened like a block and a half from our station,
Mhm.
and we heard this motorcycle hauling ass. Like, well, that's weird. Somebody screaming out on a motorcycle at 3 a.m. It was him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unless you actually saw him on the
Which
motorbike, you can't
that
attest to
not really be admissible, because it could have been anybody on the motorcycle, because you didn't see him actually on it.
No, we didn't. We just saw a motorcycle. But it
Basically,
was
you just heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. Crap. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the next couple of days. Gonna sit down and have a come to Jesus with my boss, either tomorrow or Friday. Well, Trey, let me ask you. You're kind of up in management leadership and that. If I got a boss who's he's got like little man syndrome, and many employees see, a lot of people will come to me as I guess I'm like a semi supervisor, and they trust me where they're afraid to go to a regular supervisor or the boss. And that's standard in any work. But a lot of people have told me the same thing. He came to me the other day in front of a whole bunch of employees and said he saw something. He was pretty certain it was me. But keywords, I was fairly certain it was you. But I'm like, well, it wasn't me. When did it take place? 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. Well, I'm certain it was you. And then he just continued to ridicule me. And I looked at him and I said, I wasn't there. And he came on and I said, let me repeat myself. I was not there. And I started getting a little pissy. Well, then all my coworkers started to chime in and, poke the bear a little bit, kind of tease me and ridicule me. And I was pissed. And I called my direct supervisor and I exploded the other day. And she said, that's kind of uncalled for. And he has a tendency to do that. There's a lot of people that won't go to him because they're afraid to say, hey, can you help me with this? I don't understand. Instead of helping them, he'll ridicule them for not knowing. So, and then I called my other supervisor, which I'm kind of following the chain of command, and he's like, that's bullshit, he said. And he said, take him to HR. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But I just want to let him know it's not acceptable. If you feel, hey, Ron did this, either pull me aside privately or go to, follow the chain of command. In other words, go to my supervisors and say, hey, I think Ron did this or that, and then have them pull me aside. But don't ridicule me in front of a whole bunch of people. If I did something deliberate, then you know what? It's still not right, but you know what? Maybe I deserved it. But what he's accusing me of, I didn't do.
Yeah. Just going by what you told me, lack of professionalism, lack of leadership training, no matter the circumstances, unless it's something that happened, right then and there, you never want to have to, or you shouldn't never dress down an employee in front of their peers.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's gonna know when somebody's been caught on the carpet. That's no big deal. Sometime in our careers, we're gonna get caught on the carpet for something we did or didn't do or failed to do or whatever. But it shouldn't be done in front of the rest of the crew, team, or other employees at any given time, unless those employees are called into that office or room to bear witness to what is being said. Other than that, it shouldn't be done. Now, for your side, protection, easiest thing to do is pull the schedule. Pull the schedule, make a copy of it, send it to your supervisor, your official supervisor, chain of command. Like I say, follow chain of command. And then your statement says that there's no way possible I could have been, as I've been accused of, being there when the schedule shows I was not scheduled to be there that day. I was at home doing whatever I normally do on my off time, period. That ends the discussion of finger pointing right there. Now, everything else, you can say how he conducted himself. Yeah, you tell your supervisor, go from there and let him decide, go to HR or not. It does not need to actually come from you. It needs to come basically from your supervisor. If you decide you want to go to HR, you've already told your supervisor, so he's aware of it. So if you show up at HR and let them know what occurred, he's not in the dark. So first person they're gonna contact is your supervisor.
The hard thing, Dre, is it's kind of a little bit of a good old boys club where I work.
Yeah.
There's a lot in EMS, and this happens pretty much anywhere. In EMS, we're in a building separate from the hospital, and there's a lot of stuff that takes place, and things that are said, and things that are done that you don't dare do inside the hospital. Oh my God! All the white suits, the white hats, and the ties would have a heart attack. We've this same manager. We have every 3 months we have what we call a crew rounding, and it's your opportunity to get off your chest whatever is bothering you about a certain person or a situation. And he even told me one day, I remember he was like, yeah, he said about a year or two ago, they had one of those roundings and a couple employees like exploded on him and told him he was, excuse my expression, a complete arrogant asshole that said that to his face. We can do that in our department, but you shouldn't think about like even where you work, Dre. I'm sure you can't go up to a fellow coworker and say something like that to their face without you being in HR and on your way out the door. It's stuff like that we can get away with. And he even said, you know what? It opened up my eyes. He said, well, apparently he needs his eyes opened again. And I just am not going to put up with it. I have spent too many years getting to where I've gotten today. And not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I've got a piece of respect from a lot of fellow coworkers because of my years of experience. I do so much teaching there and help to educate and take time out of my personal time to help fellow employees. And I think I've gained a little respect from that. And, and even since I was so mad the other day, I blurted out one more thing, and it wasn't anything that he'd done wrong, but let me ask you this, Dre. Again, you as someone in your position, he called me one day and said, hey, this little tiny hospital that we bring patients to, you don't want to get really sick in that area. We'll put it that way. So talk about small community hospitals that they have a ventilator that is the same ventilator that we have. And he said, can you go down? And they've asked if we have anybody here that can help teach them. So I offered to go down. I said, sure, I'll go down. We've had some relationship problems with that hospital. I'm like, you know what, boss? I said, this can only help. maybe help improve our relationships. So I went down there and I spent 10 hours on my day off. I got paid for it, but it was my day off. And, when I went up to him a few days later, I ran into him. I said, hey, just want to let you know, I went down, I did the training. Seemed like everything went really well and was very receptive. He goes, yeah, that's what I heard. Not a, hey, Ron, thank you
Yeah.
for doing that. Nothing.
Mhm.
How does that give me incentive, Dre, to want to go out on, extra on my own in the future and want to help out when your boss don't even give you I'm not looking for some giant beer party, but a
Right.
little thank you might have been nice.
Yeah. That's a tough one because I've worked for people like that people just, and I work with people who basically they use their whole time trying to figure out how to burn everybody.
Yeah.
And you just got to just make sure you maintain your professionalism, stay on your P's and Q's around those individuals. And like I say, you know who they are, you know how they're going to react in most cases, and you try to reduce your amount of time in their presence is all you can really do.
Yeah.
And just I tell people, I said, when you come up in a system, there's going to be people that you look at, you view their ability of leadership and how they conduct themselves, and there's going to be positive situations and there's going to be negative situations. You want to maybe keep the positives in your back pocket to say, when I'm in charge or I'm the leader or supervisor one day, I'm going to do this, this, and that. And then same thing negative. If I'm in charge, whatever, I'm never going to do this, this, and that. You want, if you're, I know a lot of people get wrapped up and you'll hear this say it, and your boss, this guy might say the same thing. Well, that's the way I got brought up. That's the way this, I said, just because you got brought up in a certain environment that formed who you are as a supervisor doesn't mean it was correct. And that's why I say about lack of professional training. And that's what usually happens when people who are not able to get professional training outside of their work environment, go to training classes about being a supervisor, the people that they don't know, people they don't answer to, or whatever the case is, then they're able to open up their minds and learn from the industry of how they should be conducting themselves and what's the most important thing. And like I said, in the job that you do, teamwork is the most essential thing, is building teams. Because you guys have to rely upon each other for everything that goes on, from the aircraft maintenance to the actual working of a patient, everything else. You guys rely upon each other. There is no somebody else coming from across the road or another agency coming to assist. It's just you guys.
Yeah.
And your team's what, 4 or 5 people tops each team?
Yeah.
That's it. So you guys got to have that kind of cohesiveness. I mean, like I always tell people, I said, we ain't got to go out and have drinks and, barbecues and all that kind of stuff, but we need to have at least the confidence that each one of us is capable of doing their job day in and day out. That is the requirement. Everybody's capable of doing their job, or they need to leave. Simple as that.
We call it accountability.
That's it, accountability. So I said, when you get a boss like this who does not appreciate his people that work under him, it's gonna show. It's gonna show in lack of performance, lack of cooperation, lack of cohesiveness, because people don't want to be around him. They're gonna just do the bare minimum, and it's gonna eventually show up somewhere in the process, either through the maintenance, through the response, everything else. Like you said, you wanted to come in and spend 10 hours on a day off. Like I said, you got paid for it, but it was still supposed to be your day off. Now, if you would not have been volunteered to go and do that, who else was going to do it?
Yeah.
Eventually, it would have had to be him, because it was tasked to him to send somebody over there. Now, everybody
this hospital called him, said, hey, do you have anybody that can come and do this? He goes, I got the perfect person.
Yeah.
And then he almost like volunteered me before he even talked to me.
Right. And you say, you know what? I got a commitment I can't break, can't do it. It falls back on him.
Yep.
Because like I said, he didn't really want to do it because he already got an attitude. And I say it should have been his responsibility, that he should have been doing it, or at least came in and observed it ain't like he had to sit there for 10 hours, but at least like I had to do the same thing the other day. I was asked to observe a 3-day training thing on a piece of equipment that we bought, $200,000 stage, a trailer, folds out to a portable stage. So I was there for a couple hours the first day, maybe about an hour or so the second day, and the third day they were just practicing assembling and disassembling the apparatus. Okay. From that, I took on the fact that one, I asked a question about the wind rating, because you've been out here in San Bernardino area, the wind kicks up quite a bit. So I'd be concerned about that. This thing being a tipping issue because it's going to be on hydraulic jacks. The tires are going to be off the ground. So this thing, when a portable stage opens up and you put banners on it and facade on it, it's like a kite, even though it weighs 15,000 pounds, but at 75-mile-per-hour gusts, what can happen here in San Bernardino very easily, that thing can tip over, and that's all key rope. Second thing caught my attention was they said that when they told what the weight of it was, 15,000 pounds, red light came off my head. Well, you're going to need a Class A driver, because here in California, if the trailer itself weighs over 10,000 pounds, it requires a Class A driver to tow it, okay, which is basically somebody who tows trailers, so to speak. So they're going off the max, they are going off the combined weight of 26,000 pounds as being, it's okay. So they say, well, the trailer only weighs about 15, you get a regular F-250, 350 tow it, it only weighs about another 7,000-8,000 pounds. Voila. I said, there's a caveat. The trailer itself is over 10,000 pounds, requires a Class A driver. Third thing is that when I asked the person from the department who bought this thing, I said, what's your projected amount of people is going to be able to operate this thing and, get it up and going? Oh, 2. I sat there for 2 days. I wasn't there every minute, but I knew it was going to take at least a minimum of 5. So I did my report, sent it to the higher ups and said, this is based on my observation. This is what I saw. This is what I heard. This is the questions I asked. These are my concerns. So as me being, even though there were other crew members there learning the operation, it was my job to observe the training. And this was my report from my observation. And that's what should have been done by your guy, because I was saying, where was he at the day you were down there training?
Yep.
Where was he at? He should be able to report back to the higher ups above him and says, yeah, I had Ron go down there and actually conduct the training. We had XYZ number of people here, there, all that kind of stuff, and basically give a evaluation, or I should say evaluation of what you did. He said, Ron did a good job explaining this, could be better doing that, whatever the case may be, because I'm sure this is not going to be the only time that you or anybody else may be asked to do training for some other medical situation in the hospital.
Yeah.
So like I say,
not even our hospital.
Right.
Yeah, they've actually, the nursing director at that hospital called my boss again and said, hey, we have some more people coming in. We'd like to get them back down here. Guess what? I have no initiative, no incentive to go back down.
And that's what I'm saying, because of his attitude and lack of professionalism. Now it's like, no, dude, I'm busy. No matter what, if I'm sitting on my front porch, whittling wood, I'm busy.
Plus, if you've not got the accreditation to be a trainer for that piece of equipment, then
like I said, a lot of times, Mark, you might be in like Ron. He's out in the area where he works at that does not have a amount of people who may be actually certified, but maybe people who are just experienced and knowledgeable based upon their experience to help train other people until they can get to a accreditation atmosphere or a person to come in that certifies you on that piece of equipment. Like I say, Ron says, hospitals may be hours away to wherever you may have to go, whatever. The staff may be limited based upon how big the area is. That staff may be just people who, you'd be surprised, who, a few actual trained professional, and the rest may be straight out of high school, as far as and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, they have to go by and I say OJT, the old term, on the job training and stuff. And that's how a lot of folks get trained in a lot of areas, not because they all stepped off the university, one day. Sometimes it's just kind of like, yeah, I started here as a receptionist. Now I'm the nurse's aide or something like that, after being here 15, 20 years.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Dre, for listening. I got a boogie.
Oh, no problem, dude. Anytime.
I'll let you know how this turns out.
And
I'll
you
give
know
you a
what,
follow up.
I'm just talking off the top of my head. I don't know crap.
I appreciate you, buddy.
All right, man. Have a good day.
All right, guys. You all take care.
All right, see you,
Where
Rob.
did Paul and Justin sneak off to?
I don't know where Paul Justin dropped off.
That's why I keep forgetting he actually works.
Yeah, usually he does come on and say he's got to go.
Yeah. So how you been, Mark? I've been had a death of my family. My mom's oldest sister passed away over the weekend, and then there's some other things going on. So I haven't get a chance to even sit in and listen to you guys for about a week and a half or so.
Yeah, it's a busy time when you've got to sort stuff out from things like that.
Yeah. So
Did she have family of her own as well?
Well, yeah. She has one son. He's actually as we call my first cousin. He's the oldest of all the cousins, and so he's down there by himself in Texas. Well, he's not by himself because we got other family down there in Texas, so he's not alone. So I don't know if I'm going to make the trip down there for the services or not. And my mom she's the only one left. I've lost all of my aunts and uncles this year. Starting back in January, and I don't know. You can just kind of like tell when you talk to your parent. Sometimes it's just sometimes in the look on their face or tone in their voice that my mom was talking about. I know you probably want to go, but I don't know if I want you to go. And I just sometimes you get that feeling that she hasn't expressed any fears, but I think she's just a little concerned about maybe not seeing me again. Because my mom be 90 at the end of the month. Her birthday's on Halloween. And like I say, the oldest sister, she was 95. She lost the brother right above her in July. He was 91. And then the other sister in between the oldest and her, she was 92. She passed in January.
Yeah.
So it's a tough call,
Yeah, I've only got my dad who's 90. His one of his older brothers who's 92. And one of my mum's older brothers who's 95. And we don't know how much longer he's going. He's been suffering with prostate cancer that's spread through his body.
Yeah.
But he's been fighting that for the past 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's all.
And that's why I say that's the good thing that none of my aunts or uncles were battling anything. Is just it's just life. Like I said, I tell my cousins we've been very blessed of having our parents and our aunts and uncles for as long as we've had. It's very rare that you have people who have a majority of their families still living into their 90s. So we can't complain, but like I told my cousins, now it's our turn to really step up to the plate and continue on the traditions and camaraderie within the family.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is that. So I guess who was on the other night? I guess Bill was on last night. And it kind of tickles me when I watch some of the shows now. These guys are getting really kind of bitter as the days go by or the months go by.
Yeah, I didn't watch Bill last night.
Yeah, well, I say Bill's one of them. I remember, months ago when I was trying to tell them, I said, hey, this is not going away. And they kept saying, well, they're going to come together and they're going to solve this and that. And I said, don't hold your breath. Do not hold your breath. And now I say it's becoming more of a reality. And it's quite evident on YouTube that I know I don't come across hardly any drone videos like you used to 2 or 3 years ago, or even more, even 5, 6 years ago. Used to be a ton of them. Now it's just like you hear a very few videos from people. Most of the videos I see now are from companies trying to advertise, their new drones or something like that. But it ain't like the people are just out flying doing videos like they used to be. So the community itself is getting smaller. I should say the online community is getting smaller and so forth. So
Did you guys miss me?
yeah, I asked would you tiptoe. You and
I
Justin both tipped away real
I
quick.
had a bathroom emergency.
Okay, well, I see you had your pants in your hand. I was just making sure you wasn't gonna walk in front of the camera fully. You know. Well, that's good. Well, yeah. So what's been going on, Paul? Like I said, I've had a chance to really sit in on your show for a while.
Just the usual, same old stuff, different day.
Mm-hmm.
It's to the point now, Dre, where I've got my regulars that come, but then I in the back of my mind, I wonder if it's all worth it or not. But
Yeah. Well, I was just saying that to Mark is that I have noticed, especially this year, how at one time, you've been around it for quite a while, Paul. There used to be a plethora of YouTube videos on drones, guys just flying drones,
Yep.
guys talking about drones, and I think that has really downsized quite a bit this year, more than ever before. And I was just telling him, I said, if it was not for the same old regular, like I say, Marcus will put out a video, uh, Flight Path will put out a video, and people like that who basically have incorporated this as basically a little side money deal for them to keep putting out videos. But even for them, the videos are coming fewer and fewer because there's just not a lot out there, not a lot to talk about anymore, unless you want to keep talking about the negative stuff. So this is really going to what's happening now. I say in the drone community is really changing the online presence of drones and stuff. I say for the consumer market, it's pretty much non-existent anymore because people are not really interested in seeing reviews of $20 drones, $30 drones. People have gotten to the level now. A lot of people have gotten to the level. No matter what they bought in the past, they're looking for quality level drones, and so to speak.
Sorry, I disappeared for a minute.
yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
So what's a guy in Canada with Captain Drone in Canada? I haven't seen him post a video in months.
Oh yeah, he's done a few recently.
Yeah, hasn't he? I haven't seen one. Usually I see what comes on my feed, and I haven't seen nothing from him on my feed.
You mean Paul Hodges?
No. The guy up in Canada, Captain Drone. I forgot his actual name. He goes by Captain Drone.
Steve.
He used to put out videos like 2 or 3 a month, easily.
We'll tear those out there.
And stuff.
Yeah, that's Steve.
Yeah. And then the other Steve who lives up, I think he lives in Vermont or Maine. He was one of the big guys. I remember back in the day he was one of the big Spark guys. And I think the last drone he bought might have been the Mini 2 or maybe the Flip. Somebody had him on. He used to do videos a couple of times a month. Haven't seen a video from him in over a year or two.
Yeah. Captain Drone put a couple of videos out on the Mini 5.
Yeah.
and what else was there? Oh,
Yeah.
some helicopter.
Yeah, and same thing with Ken Herring. Ken Herring used to put out videos almost every week,
Oh yeah, all the
and
time.
now,
Yeah.
I mean, now even his show, he doesn't even do his show every week anymore. I think he does it like once a month now, or maybe
Yeah.
once every other month. You know, it just,
Yeah,
I guess I just been noticing the
tends to be the way
shrinkage.
things are going, Dre.
Huh?
That tends to be the way things are going.
Yeah, yeah. Like I can say, I contribute it all mainly to that. That the industry itself has matured to a certain level, but the regulations and the political issues have really put a damper on it. You know,
Yep.
Yeah.
I would have thought by now, when I got into this 7 8 years ago, that there would be several more players making high level quality drones than the ones that are still in the game now. I mean, when I first got into it, you had Unique, you had DJI. DJI was just up and coming back then. Unique used to be the dominant player back then with their quad. No, they had this hexcopters back then, and there was a few other brands here and there. And then DJI slowly, once they came out with the Phantom 4 Pro, they took over the lead. Because the 3 and the 2 were kind of like, they were decent and stuff.
And now we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, now we don't. I mean, Autel came on the scene. They made a big splash at first, and they kind of, as fast as they got up in it, as fast as they bowed right out of it.
Right.
I remember Parrot used to be a strong player.
Yep.
And I think it was basically after the Notre Dame fire, Parrot kind of fell back and established itself as the main provider of drones for the French government, which that's where they're out of France. And they have maintained there. I mean, they used to push a lot of drones. I think it was.
I used to have
the
a
Bebop.
parrot, a 3D parrot.
Yeah, I think it was a Bebop. The Parrot Bebop was one of their main things here in the States they were selling and everything else. And then they kind of backed away. And the next thing you know, the only thing they had available was supposed to be the enterprise level something USA level. I know it was the Parrot USA, supposed to be USA on the so-called blue list or whatever. But it was never at the level it was, I would say, 6 7 years ago. And stuff.
I think Parrot are now mainly just producing drones for the drone shows.
Yeah, and that goes back to the original Bebop, because the Bebop is what was really been used by a lot of these drone shows.
Yeah, and the Anafi.
Yeah, I haven't heard too many guys say they use the Anafi. A lot of them still say they use the Bebop. If they're not building their own, that's a lot of them start off with that. Because I liked the Anafi even when the first one came out and it had the it wasn't a 180-degree camera, but it was close enough to it that it looked like it'd be a good inspection drone because they had that tilt-up camera and stuff. They kind of they kind of pulled back on that, didn't really advance it anymore. And then I say all these different regulations. I would say here in the United States, you don't hardly hear anything from Parrot. They still have, like I said, the Anafi USA. That's it. I said that drone is 5 years old now. They haven't put anything else. And I say same to the Autel. Autel hasn't put out anything in over 2 3 years now.
Yeah, and I think Autel just disappeared off the.
Yeah. So it's just, I mean, a lot of things have came about and trickled away. And there's another drone out. I can't think of the name of it. It was supposed to be a U.S. company here in California, actually, not far from where I live at. They had a drone which I thought was going to be the replacement for the Phantom. And when they released it, they had strong hopes for it. It had a changeable camera on it, but it just flight times were very poor on it. I can't remember the name of it, but I had high hopes on it. but they kind of fell by the wayside. I remember seeing a few of them on sale for eBay for $600-700, but you couldn't hardly find batteries for it.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I stayed away from it. It's like, yeah, if you can't find batteries, you're not gonna get a better one.
That's how DJI cornered the market, was the availability of all the different batteries.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to love my Inspire, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but it only flew for 12 to 15 minutes and a great big huge battery.
Yeah, yeah. But like
And
I said,
now
they came out with newer models, better batteries, and
I just love my Air 2S
mhm.
because it'll fly for 25 to 30 minutes and it handles the wind just fine here.
Mhm. And Russell says that Autel's still making drones. They just released a new model. I haven't heard anything about it, Russell. Can you tell us what they came out with? I
Yeah,
know
Russell.
they keep putting out different iterations of the enterprise level, but that's still the same drone they put out 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
And
the Mac.
they might have put another camera on it or something.
Yeah, I think since they brought out the Autel Max, they seem
Yeah.
to have disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Because they had the 640T, the 640 series, and then the last one they put out was the Max, which was about 2 years ago, I think it was.
Mm.
I know it came out the same. The Max came out the same within the same year or the year after the M30T. And my M30T is now, I want to say, 3 years old.
Here, Dre, here's a new drone by DeWalt.
Now, I saw this a while back, 2 years ago. Yeah, this is not new. This is over 2 years ago. And like I said, if it's 2 years old and that's the only thing you see of it, that's about all the thing that was of it.
Well, and then looking at the antenna on the back, it must be an FPV
Yeah, I think it was an FPV.
because it doesn't he have goggles in the other hand, or is
No,
that
that's
a
the battery. That's the I think it's the battery in the other hand or something.
Yep, it's a battery.
Yeah. Yeah, but I remember they say the video's 2 years old.
Should be interesting. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's FPV drone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was 2 years ago.
Yeah. And I think I say when DJI probably saw this was starting to happen, they came out with the Avata and it killed
We're also
everybody else who was trying to make,
props today.
you know,
Some HQs,
buy and fly
and
FPVs.
they're feeling smooth.
Well, whizzing along pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad drone, but I think it was still, I want to say it still might have been analog or something.
A little bit
And
faster.
I think when DJI came out with the digital
I got
system,
some
that just put everybody on their back foot.
heavier with this battery because of the increased weight.
Because I never remember seeing this in any stores. I mean, DeWalt, the best place they could have sold this thing at would be at Home Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful sunset. We had I guess a pretty big tropical storm here on the coast.
Yeah.
That was likely to be one heavy drone, though, with size of DeWalt batteries.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to remember, did Autel ever get a shelf space with the Best Buy or any I'd say nationwide chain store? I know they got DJI, but that even now that's shrinking to where they selling off whatever they had in the warehouses.
Yeah, it isn't big in the electronic stores anymore. Any brand.
Yeah. AutelPilot.com has the Autel drones. I recently got the Light Plus Enterprise 640T. Yeah, the 640Ts, I say that's a couple of years old and stuff. And I said the Max would have been the last thing they put out, which would have been 3 years old.
Yeah.
The 640 was before that. Because I remember when the Light Plus came out, everybody didn't you have a Light Plus for a minute, Paul? the light or light plus? And you said you didn't like the color on it or something?
Oh, Paul had a nano.
The Nano.
The nano, okay, maybe it was a nano plus, something like that, okay.
I think Hodges flies Evo.
Okay,
Oh, Hodges, yeah.
mm-hmm, yeah. So no TJ today?
No, who knows where he's at? He kind of gets lost in the frill.
I think he was in the
That's
chat.
okay. Oh, was he in the chat? I didn't see him in the chat when I came on. No, I'm looking at the chat. I don't see him in there. Yeah.
Okay, everybody, I think I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
We're down to 9 people watching, and we've been on
Yep.
for an hour and a half.
All righty. You guys take care of yourselves.
Hey, Dre, thanks for coming in. You come back anytime.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you
Mark,
guys
have
later.
a good day.
Okay, see you all later.